So this is a Peregrine Falcon, the fastest bird in the world.
It'll pick up the speed of any moving objects.
Hey, these are cute little monkeys, aren't they? So these are tamarins?
Yes.
What type?
These are rufous snaped. Rufous means sort of like chestnut color, but they're rufous snaped tamarins. If you wish, these are Adam and Eve, and we're going to take them over to their own bit of tropical paradise.
This is Hoover, who's an absolutely adorable bobcat. She lives here at Criticare, which is a sanctuary that takes care of injured and orphaned wild animals. Now, the aim of Criticare is to get animals back into the wild. Sadly, though, Hoover here was captured as a wild kitten, and the people that looked after her treated her as a domestic cat. Now she's far too tame to ever go back into the wild. Hopefully, though, the animals in my challenge will be able to be re-released. Let's have a look. Get a bandit to forage, Stinky to suckle, and Bambi to poo. Why is it that so many of my challenges involve poo? Well, these are my bandits that I'm going to have to try and get to forage. They're raccoons, called bandits because they look like they're wearing a little mask. Listen, they are so cute. How old are they?
These guys are about 8 weeks old.
Jacinta, my challenge is to get them to forage. So how do we go about doing that?
How we do that is we take them outside, and what we would do is hide a bunch of their natural food like slugs and worms, and then lead them around and sort of let them search on their own and dig around and hopefully, learn to find it on their own.
Dish of the day for our bandits are slimy slugs with crunchy biscuits. Should we go hide them? Let's do it. Now we've hidden their food, it's time to bring out the bandits and see if we can help them to find all the yummy slugs and biscuits. I feel like the Pied Piper. The raccoons are very good at following, but not very good at foraging. They just don't seem to get the idea yet. In fact, they look positively confused. My challenge is looking pretty shaky.
No, don't stand on it. Forage. Get off the biscuit, look. Forage. Hey, look, this is sluggy. This is what you eat.
Just feel it and start trying it.
Mummy has to teach you. You're completely not taking any notice whatsoever. Look, guys, come on. Get off.
So will you keep trying to forage with them? Because they've got to learn, haven't they?
Oh yeah. They have to go through this period where they're just learning about things.
Well, either I'm a rubbish teacher or your concentration levels as a pupil are very, very small. Don't look at me like that. You've made me fail my challenge. You are very, very cute, but you didn't forage. Let's hope I have better luck with Stinky. Well, the next part of my challenge is to get Stinky to suckle. Well, there are plenty of Stinkies in here. They're skunks, called Stinky because I'm not being rude, chaps, but they smell. And not only do they have quite a strong body odour, they also have the ability to squirt a really revolting liquid from glands just under their tail. Hopefully they're not going to do that today. They're just going to suckle. Now this is Chloe, who's Stinky Mum. How old are they, Chloe?
They're just getting on to about 6 weeks.
Oh, can we pick them up?
Yep.
Oh, they're so cute. And how did they come to you?
Well, their mother was accidentally killed by workers building a manhole, and then they discovered that she had 6 babies in her den.
And will they be able to be released back into the wild?
Yes, definitely.
Chloe, my challenge is to get Stinky to suckle, so I guess that involves doing a bit of bottle feeding, does
That's
it?
right. Syringe feeding.
Okay, Stinky, you're going to help me with my challenge because, quite frankly, the bandits weren't that helpful.
So you're going to put him on your lap.
Here we go.
So just kind of hold the sides of his mouth, just so to guide him, and he'll start sucking on the nipple, and you just slowly push, very, very slowly, push the milk through the nipple.
Look at the little eyes closing just in heaven. After such a dismal failure with the raccoons, I'm due a bit of luck on this challenge, and thankfully getting Stinky to suckle proves to be much easier.
These baby skunks just love their milk.
You are definitely suckling. You are definitely achieving my challenge. Thank you. What age will you release them?
At about 5 months.
So one day if I come back to Canada, I'll see you scurrying around in the wild.
Despite a poor start in life, these baby skunks look set to survive. One thing's for sure, they have a very healthy appetite.
Well, thank you. You definitely suckle. That's that part of the challenge complete. You're a lot more helpful than the raccoons. You don't smell that bad, really. Actually, you do. Well, just one more bit of my challenge to go. I've passed one bit, I've failed one bit, I've got to pass this, which is to get Bambi to poo. A charming challenge, don't you think?
The Bambi I have to make poo is a baby white-tailed deer.
Oh, look at them. There are two of them, Christy.
Yeah, they're twins.
Oh, they're so cute. How old are they?
About 5 or 6 days.
Is that all?
Yes.
Hello. Come on then, sweetie. Oh, look, suckling already.
Yes, she's going to
You're thirsty, aren't you? You really are a Bambi. Hello. Christy, how do I get the deer to poo?
So you just take that warm washcloth and you kind of tickle his little bum with it.
Tickle his bottom?
Yes.
And is this something that the mum would do in the wild?
Yes, she would do it with her tongue.
I was going to say, not with a flannel.
No.
And what's the point of that?
The point is to help keep them clean, and so if she licks them, it kind of gets rid of it all and keeps the smell down to keep predators away.
So does she eat the poo as well?
She does.
Oh, I'm glad I don't have to do that as my challenge. There is some poo coming out. It doesn't look that impressive. Oh, yes, look at that. Look at that for a challenge. That is poo. Look, definitely. Is that about the best it does?
What do you have there? Oh, you should get a little bit more than that.
Oh. This is just such a revolting challenge. Oh, yes, look. Yes, look at that. Do you know, that is probably the most revolting challenge I've had this whole series. I mean, really. Well, I gotta say, it's nicer holding this end than the other end. So 2 out of 3 ain't bad. I managed to get Bambi to poo, Stinky to suckle, and I may have failed on getting the bandit to forage, but hey, it was fun trying.
Panama is a great place to do a spot of bird watching. If only I had the time, but oh no, there's another challenge to be done. And the challenge is
Create Monkey Island for some teeny tiny tamarins.
definitely no time for twitching then. I better trot off and find a tamarin.
The first step was to find some tamarins to release, so I headed off to the Primate Foundation of Panama. Here I met up with Dennis Rasmussen, the man who runs the centre. If anyone could help me, he could.
Hi, Dennis.
Hi.
Hey, these are cute little monkeys, aren't they? So these are tamarins.
Yes.
What type?
These are rufous snaped. Rufous means sort of like chestnut colored, but they're rufous snaped tamarins.
They are so
And they're
pretty.
only found in Panama and Colombia.
Because these two have a story, don't they?
Each one's got a story, yeah. They're both pets, okay? And they're both sold on the street. And usually they're captured as babies and then sold on the street for quite a bit of money.
So what's going to happen to these two now?
Well, we're going to take them and turn them loose and hope that they reproduce and put them in a bit of their natural environment.
Well, my challenge is to help start up a monkey island. I guess that's where I come in then.
Well, if you wish, these are Adam and Eve, and we're going to take them over to their own bit of tropical paradise.
Hey, I like this challenge.
Now, if you're going to start a monkey island, the first thing you're going to have to do is get the monkeys to the island. The release site we'd chosen was a 2-hour drive away in a place called Colon. Transporting any animal to a release site is always a nervous time, but our travel companions seemed totally relaxed. Nevertheless, as we headed onto the Panamanian highway, we were careful to keep checking our precious cargo, making sure they were well watered and calm. The car trip went without a hitch, and it was now time for the second stage of the journey, the short 5-minute boat ride to the island that was to become these tamarins' new home. As we approached the island, I began to feel a little anxious. Releasing animals back into the wild is always a little bit risky, and these particular animals had been in captivity for a long time, so no one was quite sure how they were going to react. It was a short trek from the landing site to the release point. It was important to choose a location that would optimise their chances of survival.
So Dennis, you reckon this is the perfect spot in paradise to release Adam and Eve?
It's getting close. I'm not sure that it's absolute perfect spot in the world, but I think that this Adam and Eve here can live here and be fruitful and multiply. And in fact, you will have established your monkey island and met your challenge.
We haven't quite finished yet though, have we?
No, not quite.
We're not just going
yet.
to open the door and release them now. What's the next step?
Well, we leave them here for like a week, and then we open the door and we release one. And it stays out for about 24 hours, and because there's one in the cage, they're very conservative and don't run off too far.
So Dennis, are you telling me to complete my challenge I've got to come back in a week?
That's right.
You didn't tell me that earlier. Okay, so are we going to put this up in the tree?
Yeah.
Dennis, what's the point of putting them up in this tree?
Well, for one thing, monkeys do sleep in trees, and it's best for them not to ever get used to sleeping on the ground.
Okay.
Because sleeping on the ground is a very hazardous thing for a monkey to do.
We made a few finishing touches to make the cage more homely and then said our goodbyes.
Well, these guys are going to stay here to get used to their new environment. Someone's going to come on the island every day and feed them, and I'll be back in a week to release you. See you in a week. Bye-bye.
As I left, it seemed the tamarins were already surveying their new habitat. In a week, with any luck, they would begin their journey to freedom and start their new life on their very own island.
Dennis, they look all right from a distance, don't they?
Well, they look like they've been fed well.
They look slightly fatter. Hey, hello you two. So this is it, I guess. Release time.
Nervously, I opened the door of the cage.
So it's just the female we're releasing today. Come on then. Come on. She thinks paradise is in the cage. Come on, there's a much better world for you out here. I thought this challenge was going to be fairly easy. But with wildlife, you can never be so sure.
Perhaps not unexpectedly, the tamarins were reluctant to come straight out. Several times they came right to the open door, only to have a change of heart and race back in again. It was incredibly frustrating to just stand there and watch. Everything we tried seemed to fail. Then, at last, came the moment of truth, the moment we had all been waiting for.
Yes! Yes! Result. Hey, result. What do you think of that? Oh, she goes! Well, it's always fantastic to see an animal released back into the wild, and this release has gone exactly to plan. This little tamarin is doing what it's supposed to be doing. It's running away, exploring a bit, and coming back to its mate that's still in the cage. And then this one will be released tomorrow, possibly the next day. So I guess that's challenge complete. I've helped create a monkey island. It's a bit of a grey start to the day here on the west coast of Canada, but hopefully my challenge will be a bright one. It is! give the fastest bird in the world a speeding ticket. Wonder how I'm going to do that. But I'll tell you something. There is a beautiful bird of prey in that tree over there. It's a bald eagle, the most common bird of prey on this side of Canada. And I'm going to see how fast it is by throwing it a fish. Wow, yes! How cool was that? But let's be honest, that wasn't that fast. To get the fastest bird in the world, I think I'm going to have to look elsewhere. To help me achieve my challenge, I've come to visit Pacific Northwest raptors here on Vancouver Island, home to an amazing variety of birds, both large and small. This is Gary, who owns the centre, and this is a very cute little bird. What is it?
This is Ruff. He's a North American kestrel, and they are the smallest birds of prey in North America. Would you like to see him flying?
Yeah, stop him chirping. Oh, look at that. Okay, will he fly back to me?
Sure. Shall we put a piece of meat on your hand and see if you come
Okay,
back?
and I'll call
Tap
him.
your glove. Ruff.
Hey! He is so sweet, Gary, but he's not exactly that fast. Have you got anything faster?
We have a Peregrine Falcon, which is the fastest living thing on Earth. Would you like to fly that?
Sounds like the one for me. So this is a Peregrine Falcon, the fastest bird in the world. He's a very attractive bird, particularly with this little hood on. Why has he got that on?
He's got the hood on, Michaela, because right now he's probably frightened of the camera a little bit, so we keep him blindfolded. It's called hoodwinked. That's where the word comes from.
Why does he need to be so fast?
Because he always catches his food in the air.
So he sort of hovers then.
No, he
dives
goes
down.
up really high. Sometimes they'll hunt from 1,000 feet and they dive down and they can reach speeds of over 217 miles an hour
Whoa,
in a dive.
that
Would
is
you like to
fast.
fly him?
Absolutely.
Here we go then. Just pass him over. Just hold him there. I'm going to have to take his hood off because he flies way better without it.
Look, he's ready to go. Look at those wings.
So we'll just take his hood off.
So he's obviously a very muscly bird.
Just hold your hand up. Give him a second or two and he'll go. Take a second.
Well, everything was going swimmingly until our Peregrine Falcon decides he isn't going to
Your
play
own time
ball.
there.
Second, you can't rush a Peregrine Falcon.
So he's keen then. 1, 2, 3.
I'm going to give you a lure now and you're going to
Okay.
swing it round and hopefully he'll come back to you.
So I pretend I'm a
see
bit of prey.
That's it. A tasty morsel.
What am I then? A rabbit?
No, rabbits don't fly. Remember, he catches things in the air. I think he's hunting the little birds over there. Just leave it there a minute.
Hey, look at that!
And that's a Peregrine Falcon.
That is cool, and that
Hold
was
him down.
fast as well.
Just bend down. We're going to get him to substitute the food he's got there and to eat yours. That's it. There you go. He likes you. He stepped off really easy.
Hey.
It seems only fair to give our little friend a reward for his speedy efforts.
Well, you are a very beautiful bird and you're obviously very fast. But my challenge is to give a speeding ticket to the fastest bird in the world. So how am I going to do that?
As luck would have it, my knight in shining armour just happened to be passing. A real-life Canadian Mountie called Brian.
Well, this looks like a man that can. This is Brian from the Canadian Police Force. Now, Brian, do you by any chance have a speeding gun with you?
Yes, I do.
Can I have a look at it?
Yes, you can.
So what's that? Is that like a radar?
Yeah, exactly like a radar. It'll pick up the speed of any moving objects.
So you've obviously done a lot of cars. Have you ever clocked a Peregrine Falcon?
No, can't say that I have.
Will you give it a go for me?
I will try.
The Peregrine Falcon is seriously fast in the air, faster than most speeding cars, and proves a bit too quick for our Brian.
You can see
Did you get it?
I missed.
Oh no, look, it's come round again, it's come round.
Poor Brian seems to be having a bit of trouble clocking the Peregrine and keeps missing.
You just watch the bird, he'll come round this way.
Again. And again. And again.
Close enough, Michaela?
That was close! Finally, our peregrine started to get a bit tired and slowed down enough for Brian to catch a reading on the speed gun.
What's that one?
150.
Yes! That's breaking the speed limit. That is fast, isn't it?
Yeah,
You going to write him a ticket then?
I certainly would.
So what's the fine then?
$196.
Wow, that's a lot for a falcon.
It is.
So Brian, have you ever had to give a speeding ticket to a falcon before?
No, this is the first one.
Funny that. Excuse me, young peregrine falcon, but the speed limit in Canada is 110 kilometres an hour. You were clocked doing 150, which means, my son, you are nicked. There's your speeding ticket. Don't eat it. And I'd say that is challenge complete. And you were definitely getting closer because that beep is getting stronger. So the rarest mammal in the world, it's just in there.
He's right underneath us.
Oh, look at his little face. Black rhino, large, bulky animal and dangerous. Now this size is more like it. I think we need some more. There. Whoa, does that feel good?